Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Let's Stay Gamers, and welcome. So today we're building a very large castle. This is the first stage. I've just put myself out a little bit of a cliff here, and you can see I've started to sculpt into the actual rock itself and build these rocky sort of outcrops. And I'm just going to take you through this as I build it, and each step we go through, so it should be quite interesting. Anyway, let's get building. So we've just finished doing the landscaping now, and as you can see, we've got the rocks forming quite nicely, and we've done all this with the sculpting tools. So if we go to 5 here, you can actually have a look through the different things. We've got some stone, and there's 2 different ways of doing this, making them look natural. The basic way is just to grab it and drag up, and you can actually get a really natural looking flow up, but then you'll notice you'll get some bulges and stuff like that, and it starts to look unnatural. So I've noticed if you hold it down and then stretch across like so, and then do it like a wiggle shape, you tend to get some very natural looking shapes. So if I pull back after that, you'll be able to see that we've made it much more natural shape from that original big bulge that we created there. Anyway, let's start constructing this castle. So the outer wall of the castle's now gone up. We've just got some really simple sort of guard towers for the moment, and then we're going to start to give it a little bit more detail with some much larger sort of castle turrets, and then we're going to move on to the centre, where I think we'll have a little village over to the rear, and then more of the castle features in this more area where it's easier to defend from attackers from the hill direction. Anyway, we'll keep on going. You can see we've just got the simple little turrets there, and we've also got the wall that's sloped, so it's a little bit of a problem when it comes to fortifying this thing, but I'm sure I'm going to work something out. Let's continue on. So as you can see, we've started to add the actual upper battlements to the castle, and we've done this whole side here, and you're probably wondering how exactly I'm managing to do it on a diagonal sort of angle. Well, I worked out a little solution by using the 3 block you can see in the tab here. It's this little sort of rounded castle turret, and what you can do is you can actually put it between the locations, so you can see there, but you can see how it doesn't line up very well. So if we use Alt and we put one there as well, now we've got an overhang, but if we use Alt, this block actually trims down really nicely. You see how we've got that overhang there? We can actually just trim that overhang off, so you can see how it's flat, and then we've got the overhang behind, and we just trim that off as well, and then that leaves us with a reasonable area to cover these diagonals. That is much better than having it just a bare wall. But I've got a few more bits to do, and then we're going to start working on the inside. So I've came quite a lot further since you last saw. We were just getting up the walls in the last stage, and this time we've done quite a lot. I got a little bit carried away. We've actually got the main body of the central castle, and some of the villages started to take shape. Now, what I also added onto the wall to add it to the next level was I started to add some of these finer detailed turrets that are a little bit lower through the wall and can be accessed by walking down the wall's corridors, so just an extra level of defense. I've also got to still add the other side of the wall on, so I'm going to have these sort of defenses on this side as well. And let's actually have a look at the main castle body itself. So this would be the King's Chambers, and as I was building this, I started to get into a sort of more and more sort of role-playing mode, where I was looking at different features and how everything would work in comparison, rather than just trying to build something that looked really big, really massive. So up here we've got some of the details of one of the higher chambers. This is where the king, or maybe the king's men, would also live. And you've got some of the different floors here, and we'll go down a little bit lower. So here is one of the main courtyards, maybe where knights would challenge each other in a duel. I can just imagine it as like a central hub of like a roleplay server or something, where you could come here, maybe these different sorts of shops, stores for gears, armor, weapons, different sorts of things. And then if we continue on, we can actually either head out through one of the archways or through this main entrance itself. The buildings are still a little bit bare on the inside, and we can head over to the village. Now this is not complete yet, and it's going to be quite a time consuming process, but I've just started to work on the beginning of the village here. So we've got these 2 main village entrance ways, and out here is going to be like the keep, so there'll be an extra defensive layer and more of a military presence out here. And as you enter into the village, you're going to be presented by a little fountain or water feature or something that I'm going to try to stick there to make it look a little bit cool. And then I've just started to segregate these sort of houses out with multiple floors. We've got these little wallways as well, just to segregate maybe little people's gardens and different places. It'd be cool if you could like come to my like little village and maybe own a house or something as we rule from up above. And you can see the king, you can see all the way from his little castle over there right to the main entrance. Really cool. We've also got little indents to some of the houses. The houses are not ready to complete yet, and they need to be extended, but I'm just trying to get the rough concept of how I would want these smaller sort of peasant houses sort of to be. So we can move on a little bit further into here, and we come to one of the market areas. I've just laid out these tables just generally at the moment, but the market stalls then have like proper market little hat things, so we don't have little roofs on each of the stalls and so on. I'm going to have a few less of these. These are just like picnic tables at the moment in the sort of round motion. But anyway, guys, I just thought I'd show you that today. I'm going to continue working on this, and if you guys want to have any input or recommend something for me to try to add to this village, I've got some lower defenses to build. I've got a whole variety of different buildings to build. You can see how we've duplicated some of the houses. We're going to have a lot more variation, maybe some bigger houses as well. We've got this whole area of the castle to finish as well, and the outer wall. So hopefully it's provided you with a little bit of inspiration, and I will see you next time.